Slow down.
You're rocking with the greatest. You're bossing with the greatest. Hot sissy. Shake it up. Boss it up. Come on.
Your love a burning desire. That's the type never expire. Like serenity, your peace of mind. Doses of you get me higher. When I'm in your clouds, I'm inspired. Can't nobody come and blow this high. Synergy when we collide. We light up the sky, we glow. Roller coaster where we ride. You give me butterflies, let's go. So alive. Never felt passion like this for nobody. Can't deny. Baby, you bring out the best in me.
Work your body. That's your body, body. Move your body. That's your body, body. Bounce your body. That's your body. You work your body. Mix it, mix it.
Don't have no cares, no, when you by my side, oh. Let me testify why I ride for you. Don't have no cares, no, when you by my side, oh. Put that on my life, I would die for you. Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares. Coming home to someone like you, how could I ever be losing? Uptown shorty with the Creole spice, that's my little, yeah, we cruising. Your love is just enough. Just like the split, we light it up. The only one that got my heart for life, that's on God. Synergy when we collide, we light up the sky, we glow. Roller coaster where we ride, you give me butterflies, let's go. So alive, never felt passion like this for nobody. Can't deny, baby, you bring out the best in me. Don't have no cares, no, when you by my side, oh. Let me testify why I ride for you. Don't have no cares, no, when you by my side, oh. Put that on my life, I would die for you.
My life.
Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares, no cares. Don't have no cares,
Come on. The greatest. You're bossing with the greatest. Bossing, biggity, bossing, biggity, bossing, biggity, bossing. Bossing, biggity, bossing, biggity, bossing, biggity, bossing. Bossing, biggity, don't give it that bossing, biggity, bossing. Bossing, biggity, 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 bossing. No chaos. Chaos. No chaos. Come on.
What up, what up, what up, y'all? This is the Toya V Show right here on 92.6 The Mix, where real music lives. Yo, I am so, excited. This is my first celebrity. But go ahead and let us know what we just heard.
Man, y'all just heard the first single, man. The first single of the new genre, Afro Bounce. The name of the record is No Cares. Out on all platforms. Believe that.
That is what's up. So go ahead and let people know who you are and what you do.
So I go by Vscript, songwriter, A&R, artist, tastemaker. I mean, shit, you know, the whole nine yard, man. Been in the music industry for about 15 years.
Okay.
Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. You hear me?
Okay.
And 504.
Okay. All your life?
All my life, you hear me?
For how long? What's considered all your life?
All my life. I moved to Atlanta till I was 27?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
all your life. Okay. So let's get to this, right?
Right.
So we got to go to childhood because I was researching you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that you can dance. Ooh, yes, the girl did her homework, okay? So let's go ahead to childhood. When's the first time you danced or listened to music? Who put you on to music? Mom, dad, sister? Like,
So my dad used to collect records. So he was a big record collector. So he used to from James Brown to Michael Jackson to Isley Brothers to Bob Marley. Like every Sunday, that would be his thing. Every Sunday we would be home and he would play records. He would play all his everything out of his collection. So that's how I started connect. That's how I connected to music. So
okay.
and then from there, when I went to elementary, when I was in 26, McDonald 26, that's in on the West Bank in Gretna. So
and what is that? That's like an area?
That's an area. That's like across the river. So we call it the West Bank in New Orleans.
Okay.
So you got the East Bank, you got West Bank. So I was on the West Bank. And so there, around that time, we had, in our culture, so all around the world, like in New York, they probably call it break dancing. Mm-hmm. But we had our own thing where we called it flexing.
I think is that
yeah, the weaning, you just you do all that, you do all that stuff. So me and my brother at the time, me and my little brother, we used to move around New Orleans. We used to win all the talent shows from St. Aug to St. Mary's to West Jeff to Walker, O. Perry Walker, Etna Carr. So like we was known around the city like for dancing.
Okay.
And at that time they had, that was just our thing. That was part of the culture. So flexing and bounce music. So that's our culture. And then also what they call, I think the correct term now, the commercial term, they say twerking, but we used to say pee-popping.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Was everybody, we're allowed to curse here. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is not PG.
Yeah.
But, okay. So now, how many siblings do you have?
Two of my sisters, it's 5 of us total, so 2 of my sisters, 2 of them passed away, so.
Oh, rest in peace, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to my 2 sisters, Maisha and Nico. But
so
it's 3 of us left. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 brothers.
1 brother and my sister.
Okay, so it was just you. Were they like dancing with you? They came to your events, like. So this is a family, just you and your brother.
So me and my brother was a group. It was a dance group.
What was y'all called?
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice.
Yep. So we used to win out.
Why? Because you have red hair.
Oh yeah, I was fire. Plus I was fire.
Oh, he said he was on fire. I ain't mad.
Yeah.
So how long, was this like in middle school, high school?
So this was middle school going into high school. So around that time, that era, that's when it was big. It was big in the city. So especially around Mardi Gras time, we would challenge other groups and stuff like that, have battles. So that was before the Genuine era. Okay. Before Genuine, B2K, before 8 counts and stuff like that got big.
Let's count it. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, go ahead.
So me and my brother, we used to go around the city and we used to just win all the talent shows. We used to come in first place in the dance category all the time. And so at that point, I thought I was going to be we thought we was going to be choreographers. We thought we was going to be a dancer. And it got so close. So before Hurricane Katrina, we joined. Our group got bigger, so we wound up getting to this big group called New Era. So it was so that's when we learned how to 8 count. Because my homegirl and my homeboy AJ and Maquita, they was choreographers. So we taught them how to flex, and they taught us how to do 8 counts. Okay. And when we did that was around You Got Served time, when the movie was big. You remember all that big? So we won a competition. So they had this competition that came on MTV. It was called America's Best Dance Group. So when that came out, we won this. We did this competition called You Bring It, and it was hosted by Marion's choreographer. And so we came in first place in that. We won that after Hurricane Katrina, and then that was it. After Hurricane Katrina, I kind of stopped dancing because I felt like I couldn't get to the next level as a choreographer. Okay. So 8 counts wasn't my thing because I knew in dancing, you had to be a master of 8 counts, and that wasn't. My brother was great at it, but I wasn't great.
You're a freestyler. You're a freestyler. Yeah, that's how I see myself too. So yeah, I like to dance as well. Went to school for dance. Yep. Do a lot of things. Yep. But then, so okay. Mm-hmm. So when did you pick up a pen and paper? So, in the midst of dancing, I always wrote poetry. Mm-hmm. So, before Hurricane Katrina, we had this spot I used to go to in New Orleans, and it was hosted by my guy Hollywood.
This was a
Okay.
big thing every Wednesday. So I would go there and recite poems. But see, my poetry always had a rhythm to it.
Okay.
So, you know, like some people, when they read poetry, it sounds like they're reading off the paper. But my poems always had a flow to it. So one day, I was at work and I met my best friend. Me and him worked together. His name Big Earl. Shout out to Big Earl. And Big Earl, yep. So we was working in AT&T kiosk in Lakeside Mall. And he heard one of my poems and he was like, yo, your shit good. Do you ever thought about songwriting? And so I was like, nah. He was like, dog, it sounds like songs. You should start songwriting.
Oh, okay.
And so when that happened, he had a client, and one of his clients,
I can't hear you.
one of his clients was
I need to restart it.
can y'all hear? Yeah, you can hear it. So one of our clients, one of his clients was Diesel. So Diesel, he did Lollipop for Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Mrs. Officer for Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Let the Beat Build for Lil Wayne. So everything, he was around that time he was working on Lil Wayne Carter 3.
Okay.
So that was my mentor. So he was my best friend's client. And so he invited me to the studio. He heard one of my poems and he was like, you need to start writing songs.
Okay.
And then he taught me how to write a melody, and the rest was history. I never wrote a poem since then.
Okay, so basically it was in your blood.
Yeah.
And I think like sometimes people don't realize that dancing actually helps you with songwriting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The rhythm. I mean, you learn. You know, in dancing. You learn what you dance to the popular stuff. So by default, you learn taste making. You learn what's popular to people and what moves people. So that just made it easier when writing songs.
I have it started over.
Let me start it over.
We'll be back. But yeah. So now.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll get back on it. But so what you were saying was how did you like? I feel like when you dance, you're able to connect to what people would groove to, versus someone that doesn't and they just know, they just know melody. It's like I feel like dancers can connect more with music than the average person because it runs through their body.
Yeah, it runs through your body. It's energy.
Right.
You move to the beat of the drum. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So you understand you're connected to the frequency. So
Right.
definitely. So like definitely that came a big helping me articulate music when I write it, and helping me make sure what I'm writing is especially when it comes to movement, whether it's a club record or whether it's a feel good record, whether it's a groove record. So all that's part of dancing. That comes from dancing.
Okay. So let's get into your career. Now, you got into songwriting. Who was the first person that you wrote for?
So got into songwriting. So I moved. So before the first person when I got into songwriting, the first person I wrote was for my cousin.
Okay.
My cousin, his mom and my mom were a sister. So this is like my first cousin. He was the first artist that I pretty much at the time I didn't even know I was developing.
Right.
I was like, yo, you my cousin, you sing, and
Right.
I'm gonna write your song. So his name he go by Rance Davis, and he wound up being one of the first R&B artists in New Orleans history to break in the city.
I told you not to move, but anyway, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andre's moving over there, so apologies to that. But okay, so
Yep.
you developed him.
Yeah.
Did he get signed? He signed to you,
So
or did
we-
a single come out?
So after Hurricane Katrina, we wound up signing. We signed to an independent label, one of the biggest independent label at the time that was in New Orleans called Extreme Entertainment. And so when we signed with them, that was our gateway to being able to put records out and drop them and get on the radio and get airtime play. So that was the beginning of that. That was the beginning of his records breaking in the city.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So the first record that I did for him was called "Girl Right There," but everybody in the city knows Rance by Nobody, because that was the biggest record to date that I wrote for him that wound up taking his career I wanted making him big in New Orleans.
Okay, so now you have an artist big in New Orleans. What was your like one in America? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like United States, and then we're gonna talk about one that goes over internationally. So the next after your cousin, who was the next person that like actually made this all go forward?
So after my cousin, right? So after my cousin, you know, being in New Orleans and by it being a small market, there was no outlets for songwriters. New Orleans is an artist driven first city, so I would put songs on him with hoping he gets a deal, and then we get exposed to the industry. So at that time, after he had his run, we relocated to Atlanta. So when I relocated to Atlanta, I had transferred my job at the time. I was working for T-Mobile, and I wound up having I had a customer, right? So this customer came in, her phone was acting all crazy, so I wound up fixing her phone. And she was like, "Yo, where you from?" Because she said, "I could hear it in your accent. You're not from here." I'm like, "I'm from 504, baby." You know what I'm saying? And 504, you heard?
Swag.
So she wound up. She was like, "So what brings you all the way here to Atlanta? Why you moved to Atlanta?" So I told her why I moved to Atlanta. I was like, "Yo, I'm a songwriter, so I moved up here to chase, to get placements, to figure out how to get inside the industry and do this for a living." So she was like, "Send me some songs." So she never told me who she was at the time while I was helping her. So long story short, I sent her some songs. About 10 minutes later, she called me, and she was like, "Yo, I need a session for this song." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "My cousin Tamar is about to
Shut up! I gotta hit that. Oh my god!
So that was.
That girl can blow.
Yeah. So that was on the Calling. I wrote this song called "Love It" for Tamar Braxton on the Calling All Lovers album, and that was like 2015. That album came out 2015. So that was my first major label, big placement. That was the first big artist that I worked with.
Okay. And so when you got that, who else heard you and you connected with? Because I saw Rodney Jenkins.
Jerkins.
I'm sorry. I seen him in there, and that's what and it's so crazy because I love all his songs with Brandy, and I always say his name wrong.
So Rodney, man. So around that time, because once you get a placement right, it's like. Think about it like as a basketball trying to go to the NBA. Like you made it to the NBA. Now you're trying to start. Now you're trying to become a starting five. Right?
People come to you. So like when I got that first placement with Tamar, that opened up the door for a lot of stuff. So I had did this song. So one day I flew to LA, and one of my homeboys, he was in Calabasas, California. He called me. He was like, "Yo, why don't you come in why don't you come pull up on me?" He said, "Man, I got somebody for you to meet." And it was crazy. So I wound up meeting up with him. I flew to LA. I had a meeting with this big music exec. They had heard my record at the time, and they wanted it for Kalani at the time. And then Kalani wound up getting pregnant, so she didn't cut the record. She had stopped cutting. So when I walk out the meeting, out that meeting, that's when I got the call. And so I met my best friend, one of my good friends in Calabasas, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to come meet Rodney Darkchild Jerkins." And so I pull up on him. I meet Rodney. Me and Rodney kicked it off. Of course, you gotta push play. You gotta play some of the records, and so he heard some of my songs, and then after that, he was like, "Yo, I want to sign you." Ooh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So that right there was like the changing. That right there was like a stepping stone for me. That was the change of the trajectory of my career, because when I met him, and also he saw some of the things. Like he's a guy. He's just a genius. So he pays attention to details and stuff like that. He pays attention to how I treat my team, everything. And that's when he pulled me to the side one day. He was like, "Yo, you're a great songwriter, but you're more than just a songwriter." He was like, "I want you to be my A&R." And then I became his A&R. And then from then, like with him, I was able to grow. So I was able to, and it was so crazy because remember I told you Rance, my cousin Rance, years ago, he was the first artist that I developed it, but I didn't even know what I was doing. I was A&R before I knew what that was.
That's true.
But it was just off of passion. So, and it just came back. It was just a full circle moment. So that lesson that I got from working with my cousin, it prepared me to work for Roddy Jerkins.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that with him for the past 4 years. Going on 4 years now.
Okay, excuse me. So on that note, right, he's been doing that for 4 years. I'm going to teach him really quick how to wine taste, and then we're going to get to another song that he has given me, okay? So basically, this is the wine that we're drinking.
Merlot.
It's 15%. So everybody in the room who has a wine glass, what I want you to do is every time you drink wine, y'all, you have to open up the bottle 30 minutes to an hour for it to open up. And then once you pour it, you want... Get your glass.
All right, yeah.
Get your glass and you're going to swirl it.
Swirl it? Okay.
Yeah. If I can get mine together...
Let me hit it with a swirl here.
Or you can go like this. There you go. For some reason, I can't swirl it today. All right, and then you're going to put your whole nose and mouth in it. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
So what do you smell? You're not supposed to drink it. Why are y'all drinking it?
Oh,
you
man.
supposed
You
to
didn't
smell
warn me. You
it.
didn't warn me.
Yes, I did. I said your whole
Okay, hold on.
nose.
All right, rerun.
You're not supposed to drink it.
I didn't drink it.
I saw you do
I did
it.
not drink it.
What do you smell? I'm trying to teach you how to wine taste so when the next time you go to one of your fancy stuff, you can, like, I smell oak and all that stuff like that.
It smells like, I guess smashed grapes. I don't know. Wine.
No, it's not wine. It is wine, but there's other fruit flavors that you can smell in here. It's
Okay.
just...
You got to tell me what I'm smelling.
No, you have to smell it. If you feel like you only smell grapes, that's all you smell.
Plum, grapes. I don't know. But, hey.
It said it has a variety of fruits in there. So now, since you did that, you're going to sip it and let it coat your whole tongue. Now, where on your tongue did you feel it at?
Pause.
Come on now.
Oh, that's an uncomfortable question.
Well, I don't
right.
know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Well,
All right,
I don't know.
All right, that's
What
you heard in the back.
The back?
The back, yeah.
Okay, that means that you're picking up the alcohol
Okay.
in it. I felt it in the front, so that means I'm picking up the sugar. Where did you pick up, Andre?
Pause again.
Say, sir.
I don't know. I don't even want to answer this question.
Oh my God, y'all gotta be serious. I'm trying to
That's why.
G, what up, G?
It was all over my tongue, so I don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
never mind.
sorry.
Anyway.
Sweet baby
So
Jesus,
take
good God
another sip.
I'm wine tasting everybody is.
Would you say it's smooth or rough?
It's smooth.
Oh,
Damn. Y'all need to stop saying pause. Okay, get out the gutter.
it is.
Okay.
saying.
Is it tangy or no?
it's
I don't know. I'm really trying to choose how I say it. Okay.
oh man,
Because I didn't want to ask for this multiple choice question.
it's tangy. Not really tangy. It's Merlot. It's just Merlot is kind of dry. Got a dry taste to it.
It has a dry taste to it. It's actually I would say it's not super dry. I would say it's like a semi-dry.
It's like semi-dry. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a semi-dry wine.
Yeah.
These men in here, I can't even get anything out. Okay, so would you say it's light, full, or heavy body wine? I think it's light.
I think it's light.
It's
light. Let me taste it again. It's light. It's light.
Would you say it puckers a lot or a little bit?
A little bit. What you think?
Yeah, it's a little bit. So the puckering is called the tanning. So the tanning is basically when they leave, the grape seeds or the grape skins in there. Mm-hmm. That's where it gets that puckering from.
Right.
Okay. So now you said it was smooth. That means that they did not leave the the skin in that long.
Right.
Okay, because that's the tanning. And so the body is basically, just how heavy it sits in your mouth. So you can...
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy on our soul.
I can't even get this. I can't even get this out before they just start laughing.
Pause.
You know what?
You gotta pause.
I can't even ask the questions because they keep going to the gutter. But anyway, that's somewhat of the questions that they would ask you. But I mean, I can't fully get it out because y'all gonna laugh every time I ask it. Wine tasting.
Gotcha.
Just, I can't. Let's go ahead and get this going.
I feel you. Next record, Masquerade. Hold on. Let's play it muffled.
Huh?
Let's play it muffled. Send it to you. Send it to you. Trace, email it to her. Email it to her.
I can hook up your phone. Is it still muffled? It still sound muffled?
Yeah, he sent it to you on iPhone?
Yeah, but I sent it to my Android because I asked for the MP3.
It's gonna play muffled. That's why, because it's coming from my iPhone, so it's gonna play muffled. Play from your email.
I don't have it in an email. They didn't send it to me in an email.
Gotcha.
But you know what?
You gotta do it right now.
Yeah, do it right now. You about to send it to you.
Or you could just give me your phone and I'll just Bluetooth and play it from your phone. Okay, keep it going.
Tim.
So as we do this,
Right.
Okay, so give me a background of Masquerade while we get it together.
Masquerade.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. So Masquerade. That concept came from it was just like a feeling, feeling like you had a ball and you just having a good time, and you just dancing, and I wanted to have movement. And it's actually that joint is actually Amapiano. So that's a genre that started in South Africa. That's an offspring of Afrobeat. So it's called Amapiano.
Yeah, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that right there has a mixture. I merged it with bounce. But I wanted it to feel like we had I wanted the record to put you in a trance. Mm-hmm. Like it feels like you at a parade and it's carnival time. It's nonstop moving. It's like even the visual I see for that, like just HBCUs, like fraternities and sororities, like stomping to it, and just like even us being dressed up nice, like we had a ball, like giving it, just all this blackness, our people, you know what I'm saying? So it's just giving it that feeling. So I wanted to make a record that felt like it's moving, but we moving off of the energy of love. So that's what that record represents.
Okay, so let's get this going.
There you go. There we go. Yep.
Hey.
You playing for your iPhone?
So what? That's got to hit play.
It locked. So you have to unlock it.
Turn your lock off. It's not gonna.
Let me show you.
Well, keep your phone. Just keep it.
There we go. that.
This is Masquerade, y'all.
Masquerade.
Let's get lost in the masquerade. Let's lose ourselves in lust tonight this way.
This is sexy.
They ain't got no worries in the way. So let's get lost in the masquerade, baby. Let's go.
Hey.
Feelings overflowing. Ain't no telling where they're going. Speaking through emotions. That's how we feel while we open. We don't fight temptation. We don't irritate. Right here, no day. This shit gon' fade away. Life is what we make it. We keep going, there's the night away.
Hey.
Let's get lost in the masquerade.
Hey.
Let's lose ourselves in lust tonight this way. They ain't got no worries in the way. So let's get lost in the masquerade, baby. Let's go. L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in
Hey. 1, 2, 3, switch.
know I feel it in my soul all day.
This gives me shorty,
I feel it in my soul.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
We don't fight temptation. We love every taste.
Hey.
This that shit don't fade away. Life is what we make it. We keep going, there's the night away. Let's get lost in the masquerade. Let's lose ourselves in lust tonight this way. They ain't got no worries in the way. So let's get lost in the masquerade.
Hey, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, go.
L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in L-O-V-E-U and me. Lose ourselves in L-O-V-E-U.
1, 2.
Let's get lost.
Hey, hey, hey.
You know I feel it in my soul all day. Ooh, you know I feel it in my soul all day. Ooh, you know I feel it in my soul all day. Ooh, you know I feel it in my soul all day. Hey.
Yep.
All right, y'all. You just heard Masquerade by Vscript. Now, how did you go from being an A&R to being this artist that, made a new freaking genre? How did we go from I'm engineering for this person, making beats for this person. Now I'm writing here. I'm working with Rodney Jerkins. I said it right.
Yep. Dark Child.
Dark. I know. Let me say Dark Child.
There you go.
Okay, Dark Child. And now all of a sudden, you just wake up one day and come up with this new genre. Like, where was the seed planted at? Like, how did you get the inspiration?
So, one of my best friends, his name is Ross, right?
Okay.
So last year, he and they go by Safety Club. So they have this thing called Safety Club, which is a collective of songwriters and producers, and I collab with them on a high level, like very frequently. So we wound up doing a camp in Africa.
Okay.
So he called me. He said, "Yo, man, why don't you come to Africa? I'm putting together, 'cause that's where he's from. He's from South Africa. He's from Cape Town. So born and raised in Cape Town. So he wanted to do a big camp in South Africa. And so artistry, right? Mm-hmm. I never not want to do it. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to be a songwriter that merged from the back and come to the front. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't want my stuff to sound like placements.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to put a project out to where you know, just because I can do it. Like, I didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And it was timing. Timing. So when I flew to Africa, it was a trip that I didn't even know that I needed.
Right.
You know? So when I got there,
what part of Africa?
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Yeah,
okay.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah. So when I got there, it was a feeling that I felt free. Like I felt free creatively. Like I was just, you know, I was able to tap into culture. We was making records. I was able to go and see the nightlife. I was able to see things from a different perspective and see our people moving the way they move there. Like when you go to the club, you know, like you be in the club here and people standing around and just standing around looking at each other. No one's dancing.
Right.
Man, you see the energy there. Like
Man,
everybody's dancing.
That's why
Nobody's
I fell in love
stopping.
with Afrobeat.
Yeah, no one's stopping, but they moving off of love. It's not toxic. It's moving off of good high vibrations.
Yes.
So we wound up. I was working. I stayed there for like 2 weeks. I came back home, and that's when I just started my project. I was like, okay, now it's time.
Okay.
And so I wound up knocking out records. I cut over, like for this project, I cut over 30 records.
Oh wow.
With my team, so I cut over 30 records, and then I had Christmas came. Christmas is coming, so I decided to go home for Christmas.
So this is 2022. Yep, oh, this is recent.
This is recent. So I went home, right? So I went home, and I got with my boy Casey, my boy Blair Taylor. He wound up coming down. And it was just a full circle moment because these are guys, and Rance Davis, and my homegirl Robin. So this was the first time that I connected with my core, who I started out doing music with.
Right.
And this was our first time all being together in the studio in 15 years.
Okay.
And so I was like, yo, I had an idea. I said, yo, listen, I brought some of the music that I did. I said, I made this Afrobeat album, but I'm not from Africa.
Right.
I'm from New Orleans.
Right.
So I need to
make it yours.
I need to make this mine. I need to put some of my heritage into this.
Right.
So, and when you think about Afrobeat, you think about bounce music. They're cousins.
Are they?
It's the same tempo.
Oh yeah, it actually is. Yes, it is.
So when you think about it, right? When you just from a educational purpose, like that's where we from. We from the motherland.
Right.
So these are the things. So people, when you think about people coming to the States, us being brought from the motherland to the States, some people got dropped off in Jamaica. Some people got dropped off in Barbados.
And that's the reason why I'm doing this.
Right. So you see these things, but these are all cousins. We all move to the same drum.
Yep.
They all have chants.
Right.
They all have movement, high vibrations. So when you think of Afro, you think of love, and when you think of bounce music, you think of vibration, movement.
Oh, okay.
So so that's when I decided to merge the two because it was a perfect marriage. And No Cares was the first record, was the first baby.
I like No Cares. So who is it Hassizzle?
Hassizzle, that's the king. He's the king of bounce. He's the king of bounce in New Orleans.
Okay. How do you become the king of bounce?
He hot. He the man.
You have to be the hottest.
Yeah.
So how did all of that? Like, how did you get him on No Cares?
So when we made the record, I was like, yo, he was the first person that came to my mind. Like, I wanted something to feel, along with the bounce element and with the Afrobeat, I wanted something to feel home. And that's how we do. It's just like we talk over our records. You know, work your body, move your body, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it. You could do it if you listen to that.
Right.
Don't have no care, no da 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 da. It's similar. Working. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he was the perfect person for it.
Right.
He was the perfect person for it. So I reached out to my good friend Lou and Raj, like Raj Smooth. He's been a supporter of me since I started music in New Orleans. So he's been a big supporter of records that I wrote on and did for different artists around the city. So they managed her side, and so they set everything up. And so, man, that's how it became. I gave him a call. I told him the vision of what I wanted, and it was like, yo, this is incredible. Let's do it. We got you.
Okay. So there was a music video, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw this music video, and it said that you wrote it. It's called "Wait for Me."
Yeah, I co-wrote that with my homegirl.
She can
Georgia.
sing.
Yeah.
That song is bomb. It just popped in my head. It just popped. Is she from New Orleans too?
Nah, she's from here. She's from she's from Africa, but she's been living here.
Okay. Yeah. I saw
that.
that. I saw that. That's why I brought it in. So, because you started working with, African artists, I saw the video of No Cares. Mm-hmm. Was that shot in Africa or was that shot in New Orleans?
It was shot both. I shot half of it in Africa, in Cape Town, and I shot half of it in doing Mardi Gras, in New Orleans doing Mardi Gras. So I wanted the video to feel like the merge of culture.
Okay. And I get that. I get that from the music video. Y'all got to make sure y'all look up No Cares by Vscript. Ooh, excuse me. Now, how did you get this name?
So, my first name is Verdell, and then script is like my movie script. So, my boy, one of my best friend, Big Earl, he's always called me Vscript. And so I just kept it. He was like, because everything I wrote was so descriptive. It was always,
Oh, your
like
poem.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was very like colorful. Like people saw themselves in there. Okay. So we got V-Strip. Now it just stuck with you and just everybody. You just said, you know what? I'm going into the industry with this, or you just
Yep. I mean, I kept it. Everybody kept calling me Script, Vscript, Script. So I just kept it. And then one of my other homegirls, she called me Scriptures.
Oh, Scriptures? Okay.
Y'all call them V-Script, but I call them V-Scriptures. So it was just like, so I just kept it.
Okay.
It was cool.
So, have you ever seen yourself being an artist? Or you just said, I'm just going to be a dancer. That's it.
I think all it's different aspects. Mm-hmm. I think I've always been an artist.
Okay.
Because it's art.
Right, it is being creative. Yeah,
being creative. So it's not too far fetched. Like it's not too far fetched. I knew it was coming.
Okay,
it just had to be the right time that makes sense. And I didn't want to put out music that doesn't make sense with where I'm at in my life. I'm a family guy.
Right.
I love my family, so I want my music to represent that.
Okay.
And it was just like that's just where it's at. I think it was just perfect timing.
Okay. Are you single?
No.
Okay, y'all, he's not single, y'all. So I'm sorry, wife, but I have to ask these questions. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, you ready for my trick questions?
What's up?
Marry, kill, and one night stand.
Marry, kill, marry.
Beyonce, Cardi B, and who else can go in there? Who else? No, you can't put that in there.
Look at my wife. Very bad.
Amen to that. I love that. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, I said Beyonce, Cardi B, or let's see. Cause you're an R&B head, right? Mm-hmm. Anita Baker.
Beyonce.
No, you have to say it. Who would you marry? Who would you kill? Who would you do a one night stand with?
Oh, one night stand, Cardi B.
Okay.
I'll marry Beyonce. I can kill Megan.
He said Megan. Okay. All right. One must go.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 112.
Uh-huh.
Boyz II Men. Or Jagged Edge.
Woo. One gotta go?
One gotta go.
You said 112, Boyz II Men or Jagged Edge?
Yeah.
Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge?
Yeah.
What? You don't like that? Married.
But, Cupid. Come on now.
I know. Cupid was hard.
Anywhere?
Yes. Cupid
Peaches and cream?
Yeah, peaches and cream. And then we show machine.
Yeah, that's nostalgia.
Okay, one must go. Because I'm thinking you were 80s baby.
Yep.
Okay, one must go. Living Color, Martin.
Are them two? One more?
And Living Color, Martin, and
Living Color, Martin.
And Different World.
Different World can go.
Different World can go?
No. Living Color can go.
Living Color can go.
No, that's hard. No. I love all of them. No. Why would you do that?
You have to get away with what?
I guess a different world.
A different world?
It can go, yeah.
I mean, college. They'll be like, okay,
No, but,
all right.
But you got to think about, like, Martin. It's Martin.
I mean, nobody. I know. Yeah, I mean, I know nobody's gonna get rid of Martin.
And then they Live in Color gave us too many iconic people.
I know, right?
Jim Carrey, Marlon Wayans, Damon Wayans. Oh, good God Almighty! No.
Okay, one must go. In Vogue, SWV. Let me see. Brownstone.
Brownstone.
What? Okay. Brownstone. Like they because they didn't have too many hits.
I mean, we got to talk about hits, baby.
Okay.
They hit record.
One must go. Tony Braxton, Babyface.
Make it good.
Huh?
Make it good.
We're not doing that.
this
And Michael Jackson. One must go. Babyface, Tony Braxton, and Michael Jackson.
Well, as an artist, Babyface, he's a better writer than an artist, so I'll say Babyface.
Babyface
as an artist.
Okay.
I mean, he's the king in the he's one of the ones in the pen. But
Okay.
artist, if you're asking artistry,
Okay.
Babyface, Michael Jackson, who else you said? Tony Braxton.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Braxton and Michael Jackson was bigger, so Babyface got to go.
Babyface gotta go. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, I just had it in my head. Not Biggie, but I'm not gonna do that.
Intriguing.
No, I'm not gonna do Biggie. Let's do this one. Let's do P. Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri. Which one would win?
Who win? Mm-hmm. That's a good question. So I give you my honest answer.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
If we're talking records, right? If we're talking hit songs, I believe on paper, JD has more big hit records.
Yes, he does.
But I believe Diddy is the bigger brand.
That is true.
He's the bigger brand. Diddy just makes everything big. Like he has touched more nostalgia. Like when you think of Bad Boy, you think of a brand. Like
you think of Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. It's tough. Like because I feel like Versus, right? Versus is also not about who has the biggest records. It's about who has the most culture.
Right.
So if you're asking me as far as culture, I think Diddy has more culture than Jermaine.
But Jermaine has more hits.
He has more. Jermaine Dupri has more hits, but Diddy has more culture.
Okay.
He's the bigger brand. So I think on paper, if we just ask that question off the top of our head, we're gonna automatically say Bad Boy because we think of Bad Boy as the brand, the dancing, the videos, the Ciroc. It's culture. It's more culture.
Okay.
Not saying JD ain't.
Okay.
But Diddy just has more.
Quincy Jones or Babyface?
Babyface. Quincy Jones did the biggest album of all time. Thriller.
So
nothing beats Thriller. That's 75 million.
So why wouldn't it be Quincy Jones over Babyface?
Well, if you're asking me as producer, that's produced because they both producers too.
They are both producers.
As a producer,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Quincy Jones.
Okay.
I mean, it's Thriller. It's the greatest album. It's the greatest album.
Songwriters.
Oh,
Ready?
Yes, go.
Okay. You have Neo. And Carrie Hilson.
Who go?
One of them gotta go.
Carrie Hilson. Yeah. And you got bigger records.
Okay.
To the left.
No, I know. He even wrote one of her songs, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Sierra, Janet Jackson, and...
What we say?
Huh? You said 1 second?
I said what we say. Who's next? Sierra, Janet Jackson. Who else?
And Normandy. I think I might say her
Normani?
name. Normani. Is that how you say her? Normani.
Normani. She gotta go.
Okay. He's not letting no new artists through. You hear today. He's not making
Bruh,
no.
she got
Okay.
that's an unfair question. That's
Okay.
an unfair question.
One gotta go. Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, and Beyonce. One gotta go.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Okay. Chris Brown gotta go between Michael Jackson, Beyonce.
I mean, if we're looking at it from that perspective, I mean, Chris not bigger than Michael Jackson.
But performance wise, Beyonce or Chris Brown?
That's a good one. I think Chris Brown can dance better than me. I'm sorry.
Well, we talking about, I mean, of course, but we're talking about performance. I was going to throw Usher in there.
You didn't throw Usher. Damn, you skipped over Usher?
No, I didn't want, because everybody's going to say Usher or Chris Brown, right?
I think.
And then
so if we're asking.
that's too
that's
obvious.
All right. That's a good question. Usher and Chris Brown?
Yes, but they're two different generations.
I think it's unfair.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they both have classics. They both have, like, they did a song together. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I didn't bring up Usher.
All right, so I've been asked that question before. Mm-hmm. So here's my I think it's unfair to compare the two because Usher dominant in his career. In Usher's career, he grew up on more when R&B wasn't so hip-hop driven.
Okay.
So I think that's why he has more classics, like bigger R&B records. I think in Chris prime, when Chris became the man, R&B was more hip-hop driven. Right. So I think the music that Usher made is because of the time.
That's why I said two different eras.
Yeah, is going to be more timeless.
Okay.
Because of the era.
All right.
Because of what was required for him. Okay. Of the era.
So, what would you consider your strongest genre to write?
I would say.
Excuse me, sir. You're still connected to bruh.
I would say.
Hold up. Unlock yourself. You still connected to my You still connected to okay.
So what was your question? What was it again?
You said your strongest genres are right.
R&B and pop.
Okay. So do you believe R&B is dead?
No.
Do you believe R&B died?
No. I believe R&B is not popular as it once was. I believe every genre has its era. Okay. You got to think about pop. P-O-P. Pop is not a genre.
It's popular.
It's what's popular. So R&B, I believe R&B had its popular moment. Its popular moment was the 90s. Yeah. That's why it was the biggest. So if you pay attention to charts and stuff like that, right? In the 90s, the R&B artist was pop stars. Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, Mariah Carey. You can keep going. Mary J. Blige. So in the 90s, R&B was pop. That's why it was the highest at the 90s. I just think that now we're in the era where hip-hop has finally got its opportunity to be the number one genre.
Okay. Well, do you think hip-hop should have subcategories when it comes to awards?
You mean when it comes to awards?
Yeah, like, how the hip-hop, it should be all the artists that do trap, all the others that do drill. Like, instead making them all under one genre, that there should be, No.
I think it's definitely just has evolved.
Okay.
It's just the evolution of it,
Okay, so R&B, do you feel like it's more vulgar than before?
Yeah, I believe that because I think so. All right, so it's a great question. So I think when we think about the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. Think about the TV programs. Mm-hmm. I think TV and music is husband and wife. Okay. So, and what I mean by that, when I break this down, right? In the 90s, we grew up on TV, on real television shows. Mm-hmm. We grew up on Living Single. We grew up on Cosby. We grew up on family-orientated shows.
Family Matters,
right? Mm-hmm. I believe when reality TV hit, when it became, remember when Real Life came on MTV? That was the first one, and I believe that the kids of this generation is growing up. They're not growing up on TV shows. They're growing up on Love and Hip Hop. They're growing up on reality shows, and it just has evolved, and so it reflects the music. Because you got to think about it. When we was watching Martin, Boomerang and stuff was coming out. Best Man was coming out. Woods was coming out. So TV and that is like husband and wife. TV and music is it match each other. Best Man. So that's why we got all these records. But we had love movies. We had love programs that created what we created. Right. So when you got raw TV shows, it's going to make the music raw.
Okay. So would you say, because I feel like in Africa, they don't do that.
No.
You can't talk, you can only talk about love.
Yeah.
You can only talk about spending money.
Yeah.
And you can only talk about God.
Yeah. So, all right. So in Africa,
that's why I like their music.
Yes, but they move off of vibration. When you go out, when you go there, when you go to Africa, you go to the club. There's no standing around. We're not trying to compete. They're not trying to compete and see who's buying the most bottles. When I walked in that club, when I walked into one of these lounges, and they gonna look at you crazy if you're not dancing and having a great time. Right. Versus here, versus when we go to certain, clubs, we're only listening to one genre. We only listen to trap. Mm-hmm. This was my first time, right? When I was there, this was my first time seeing black people move to world music. Mm-hmm. Not just one kind of song. Right. They was moving to love. They didn't stop. They played trap, but they played all music. International. So
have you been to Lagos yet?
I haven't been to Lagos.
I wanna go.
Yeah, I wanna go. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely on the bucket list.
Okay.
But I think definitely that's the difference. Like they're moving, they see music. The music doesn't have a color. I'll say that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, music is universal. Music is universal. Yeah. So I want to thank you for tuning in with me and just locking in with me and having this interview. This is very Hercules. Yeah. I'm so excited to have you here, and I just wanted to ask you a few more questions. Is what do you want Afro Bounce to do? Where do you want it to go, and who do you want it to affect?
The world. I wanted to touch the world. I wanted to, especially here, in Jack, because just even me as a songwriter, when I turn on the radio, it's toxic. Every day is not toxic. Right. Just like every day in love. Right. But it's so much toxic stuff. It's so much stuff being played that it's not promoting love. It's not promoting us. It's not promoting joy. It's not promoting like love is cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you pay attention to these things, even though I love I love the music. I never speak down on the music, but I think sometimes we need to change the frequency, and I think that's why Afrobeat is making a big wave because of the subject matter. The subject matter is love.
Okay. So you want to start bringing, you want to start influencing other people to start, doing Afrobeat.
Yeah, Afro Bounce. Yeah.
Afro Bounce.
Afro Bounce. I mean, whoever hop on.
Feeling kind of tipsy.
You know what I'm saying? but just put out that, and not even just doing Afro Bounce, but just let's change this. Let's change the airways. Let's change the subject because we got black love. Let's love ourselves. Let's love each other. Let's put that energy out there. I think the world need that, especially with all the crazy events that's happening in the world. You don't want to go through, with all the stuff going on in the world and then turn on and hearing bad vibrations. We need to be uplifted. We need to be moving. We need to get back to love.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why I started the Toya V Show, bringing the latest Afrobeat and Caribbean music. And now I'm going into artists because I feel like we need to, basically get back attached to where our roots of music is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we had this sound and then we let other people move our sound into certain ways because it made money. Yeah. We were all about positive black people. Now we're about killing each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so as a person that is just coming forth and being like, look, there's these Afrobeat artists right here in Atlanta that you need to tap into. And also there's other artists other places that they can actually, you know, get to know and get back to your roots of where music came from, because a lot of stuff has been taken away. So by me saying that is, other than the music, what did you take away from your your African trip, your trip to Africa? Sorry.
Love. I saw the love. I felt the love. Like, I felt the love for the people within with themselves, and so we need to, you know, it's just different. It's just they move to a different vibration, and it was so inspiring because it was something that I haven't felt in a long time. Within our, you know, seeing that in real time, seeing that in the club, seeing people dancing and nonstop dancing, just happy. Like, it wasn't just like, you know, in the club with black shades on, just walking
Just
around,
sitting
like,
in the corner. Yeah,
it was having a good time. Yo, we here. We come here. We gonna have a good time. We gonna spread love, and that was something, like, you know, because when you look at things and when they paint certain pictures of things, like, you think that it's just one way. You look at it like, you know, the world is big. It's bigger than us. So, you know, that's how I view it. You know.
Okay. So one last question. Who would you open up for?
Who would I open up for?
Who would you think that your brand would be good to open up for?
I would say Burna Boy. I would say Burna Boy, Wscript, Burna Boy, Wscript, Akon.
Okay.
Like, it's big music, big SZA, like, you know, all that's world music. Anybody that's like.
So you would prefer it to be more international than like, you know, being homebound in United States.
Yeah, more international, like, you know, music. Like, no, you can't stereotype it. You know, it's all people.
Okay.
People of all color.
So I just want to thank you again for stopping in to the Toya V Show, where I bring the latest Afro meets and Afro artist interviews. So go ahead and let us know what No Care is about, and then introduce it. Let people know where you're from and where they can
tap in.
Yes.
Believe that. So No Cares is about love, man. It's about you being with somebody and having no care. You with that person, and the love, you so in tune with that person that when you with them, you have no cares, you have no worries. So I wanted something to represent that, like, just the feeling. That was the concept behind it. That was the feeling with it. And yeah, man, you could tap in. The records on all streaming platforms, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. And tap in with me. My Instagram is at Vscript, TikTok at Vscript, Twitter at Vscript. So believe that. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. Was that right, Toya?
Yes, that was right. Go ahead and follow the Toya V Show. Make sure you check me out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for my Afrobeat mix from 5 to 6. I'm also on K100 I'm on K100 every Saturday from 5 to 6. And the Hype 87.3 from 5 to 6, because your girl, gotta get that music out. And remember, every Thursday from 7 to 8, I am bringing you the latest Afrobeat artists in Atlanta. Hit me up at toyavshow.com. And also, if you have any music, go ahead and send it to me at the Toya V Show at gmail.com. Other than that, here you go. No Cares by who?
Vscript. Believe that. For the day, what it is? Hold on, I'm gonna tell you.
It's March 9th.
04, right?
No.
03.
Here's some information.
What time is it, Pop?
It is 9:52.